Om Shanti. English Avyakt versions 3rd of May 1972. Do you consider yourself to be both loveful and lawful? Are you lawful to the same extent as you are loveful? Or is it that you cannot be lawful when you are loveful and you cannot be loveful when you are lawful? Are you able to reveal both these stages at the same time as your form in action? Until your stages of law and love become equal, you cannot constantly be the embodiment of success in your actions. In order to be embodiment of success and the image of perfection, you need both these stages. You need both these stages. You have to be lawful to the self also, not just to others. Those who are lawful to themselves can also be lawful to others. If you break any laws which apply to your own self, then you cannot lay down any laws for others. Then, no matter how much you try to be lawful to others, you will not be able to be that. Therefore, ask yourself, have I become lawful with myself and with other souls? From morning till night, are you breaking any laws in your thoughts, actions, connections, in giving cooperation to one another or in service? Those who are lawbreakers cannot become the makers of the new world. The peacemakers or the new world makers. So check yourself, am I a new world maker, a peacemaker, and a lawmaker, or am I a lawbreaker? Would the lawmaker who break the law be called the lawmakers? Do all of you clearly know what the godly disciplines are, or do you still have to know this? What does it mean to know them? To know means to follow them. After knowing, you accept them, and after accepting them, you have to follow them. So, should it be understood that all those who are sitting here know all the laws, that is, that they are following them? Are you following the timetable from Amrit Vela onwards according to the godly laws? Or is there a percentage in that? Is there a percentage in knowing the laws? If there isn't a percentage in knowing the laws, but there is a percentage in following them after knowing them, how can you call that knowing the laws? Is it because you do not know them accurately that you are not able to follow them? Or is it that you know them but you are not able to follow them? What would you say, since you say that here your knowing, accepting, and following are all the same? Why is there still this difference? You tell those who do not have any knowledge that they know that they are souls, but that they do not conduct themselves accordingly whilst knowing this. You also know which are the godly law and which are not. If after knowing them you don't follow them, what would you call this stage? Effort. Is it that you are forgiven your mistakes in your effort making life, just as the shield of saying drama gives you support in the same way? The word effort maker is also a very good shield when you are being defeated or are not being successful. Is this shield shown as one of your weapons? Would such souls be called effort makers? What meaning do you make of the word effort? It means that whilst you are in that chariot, you have to conduct yourself considering yourself to be a soul. This is called an effort maker. Purusharth, doing something for the sake of the being. Who is the one who is making this effort? That is, who is the master who remains stable in the stage of soul consciousness? It is the soul, is it not? So, an effort maker means one who considers himself to be a soul. Such effort makers can never be defeated. So, do not use the word effort in that way. Yes, you can say that when you stop making effort, then you are defeated. If you are engaged in making effort very well, you cannot be defeated. If there is a difference between knowing them and following them, then those with such a stage cannot be called effort makers. An effort maker always continues to move forward whilst keeping his destination in front of him. He never comes to a standstill. He may look at the sight scenes that now and again come in between, but he never stops. Do you see or do you not see whilst seeing? If you stop when you see something in front of you, then those who continues to move along with such a stage cannot be called effort makers. An effort maker never lets go of his courage and enthusiasm. If you constantly have courage and enthusiasm with you, then you are constantly victorious. It is only when you do not have any courage or when instead of enthusiasm you have one or another type of laziness that you are defeated. And by making a little mistake, even though you are the lawmakers, instead of being lawful, you yourself become the lawbreakers. What is that little mistake? It is a mistake of just one vowel. By the difference of one vowel, from being the lawmakers, you become the lawbreakers. The difference of just one vowel in the word is instead of shiv, you look at shav, corpse. By seeing the corpse, you forget Shiva. The word Shiva changes and it becomes poison, wish. The poison is of the vices, with the difference of it being turned the other way round. It becomes poison, Shiv, wish. The result of that is also likewise. Once you have been turned the other way round, the result will of course also be wrong. Therefore, do not ever look at the corpse. That is, do not see this body. By seeing it or by staying in the awareness of the body, you are breaking the law. If you constantly keep yourselves within the law, that you must not look at the corpse, but that you must look at Shiva, then you can never be defeated in any aspect. Maya will not then attack you. You are defeated when Maya attacks you. If Maya does not even attack you, then how can you be defeated? So you should make yourself surrender to Baba in your every thought. If you have not surrendered yourself to Baba in your thoughts, then your thoughts, when put into action, defeat you. Therefore, if you consider yourselves to be the lawmakers, then don't ever break this law. Check whether the thought you had is worthy to be surrendered to the Father or not. If it is a wasteful or sinful thought, then you cannot offer it to Baba. Baba cannot accept that. You can understand what you have to offer to the highest on high Father. Let every thought be elevated. Continue to offer every thought to Baba and his task, and you will never be defeated. At present, you are not given practical punishment for any wasteful or impure thoughts, but as you progress a little, then apart from actions, if you have any impure or wasteful thoughts, you will experience punishment for them in a practical way. You have wasteful thoughts, but thoughts are also a treasure. And what would become of those who waste their treasures? What is the result of those who waste their wealth unnecessarily? They become bankrupt. In the same way, by wasting away the treasure of elevated thoughts, you are not able to experience the attainment of the inheritance that you should receive from the Father. What state does someone who becomes bankrupt rich? You would experience such a stage. Therefore, at the present time, you have to be very cautious. At present, the pilgrims have reached a high level point on their destination. When going to a very high destination, there is a great need to maintain attention at every step. You need to check yourself at every step. What will be the result if you have less attention on even one step? Instead of going up, your foot will slip and you will come down. So at the present time, do you have this much attention, or is there carelessness? The earlier time was a different phase. That time has now gone by. Now you must not be merciful. If even now you are merciful, then you will not be able to be merciful towards other souls. Now Baba is cautioning the children who have attained such a high stage so that the children can be merciful towards themselves. Do not think that Baba is merciful and that Baba will be merciful for whatever happens. No. Now you will have to settle a thousand-fold karmic account of one mistake. Therefore, now is not the time to make even the slightest mistake. At present, you must be very cautious at every step and become the multimillionaires by earning multimillions at every step. Your name is those who are the multimillion times fortunate. Therefore, as is your name, so should be your action. Check in every action whether you are earning an income of multimillions and becoming multimillionaires. If you have not become multimillionaires, then how can you be called multimillion times fortunate? Not even one step should be without earning an income of multimillions. Do you have such checking, or do you become conscious of this after you have wasted many steps? Therefore, you are being cautioned in advance. The final stage is that of being a Shakti. The form of a Shakti is not that of mercy. A Shakti is always shown as a destroyer. The time of destroying is now coming close. You must not be merciful at the time of destroying something. At the time of destroying something, you have to adopt the form of a destroyer. Therefore, the part of being merciful has also now finished in the relationship of the Father, Baba. Whilst accepting your carelessness and the mischief of childhood made you move forward, however, it is now the part of the form of the Sadguru to purify you in every way and to take you back home with yourself. The Father accepts the children's carelessness and mischief and still continues to explain to them with love and continues to move along with all of that. That is not the form of the Sadguru. The form of the Sadguru is one that makes your thoughts, words, and actions truthful, whether he makes you that through knowledge, through your effort, or whether through punishment. The Sadguru is not one who will accept mischief and carelessness. Therefore, now understand the time in the form of the Father. It should not be that you do not recognize this final form of the Father and you deceive yourself by still being in your stage of careless childhood. You have to remain very cautious. The Shaktis should also adopt their form of being destroyers. Just as it has been shown that anyone with devilish sanskars cannot confront the Shaktis, and that those with devilish sanskars cannot even raise their eyes in front of the Shaktis. So become the form of the destroyers and destroy the impure sanskars within your own self. Also become the image that destroys the evil sanskars of others. Do you have such courage? And in the form of another, you can have mercy, but there is no mercy in the form of a Shakti. You have been the mother giving a great deal of sustenance, and children become mischievous in front of the mother. However, no one has any courage to be careless in front of the Shaktis. Now become a destroyer even for yourself. Create such a stage that evil sanskars cannot remain even in your thoughts. This is known as being a destroyer of evil with just one glance. How long does it take to transform your thoughts? 1 second. And how long does it take to glance at someone through your vision? 1 second. So how you become those who destroy evil with one glance, that is, those who destroy evil sanskars in 1 second. Or do you come under the influence of evil sanskars? Who are you? The godly community. So evil sanskars should not come to those who belong to the godly community. At present, do the evil sanskars come, or are they burned? They still come. So what do you then become? Your form has become manifold, hasn't it? One moment you belong to the godly community, and the next minute you come under the influence of evil sanskars. And so what do you become? You become one with a manifold form, do you not? If at this moment you maintain courage to destroy your own evil sanskars and adopt the form of being a destroyer of evil, then congratulations. Now pay attention, because together with the subtle punishment there is also a gross punishment. Do not think that you will suffer the subtle punishment and settle it internally. No, subtle punishment will be given in a subtle way, and day by day there will be greater punishment. However, according to the godly codes of conduct, if someone does something that is not within the code of conduct, if someone disobeys the code of conduct, then such a soul also has to suffer physical punishment. What will happen then? You are deprived of the love and relationships of the divine family, as well as the treasure of wealth of the present time. Therefore, now take your steps with a great deal of careful thought and consideration. Such disciplines are being established by the Shaktis. You have to be warned in advance, do you not? Then do not say that you did not think it would be like this and that this is something new. Therefore, you are being told in advance. Together with the gross disciplines, there are also the subtle disciplines. As is the mistake, so is the punishment for those who make such mistakes. Therefore, since you are the lawmakers, do not break the law. If the lawmakers break the laws, how will you claim the right to a lawful kingdom? If you cannot conduct yourself according to the law, how can you rule a lawful kingdom? Therefore, now consider yourself to be a lawmaker and be lawful at every step, that is, take every step according to Srimad. Do not mix the dictates of your own mind. Maya changes Srimad into Manmat and gives you the intellect to consider that to be Srimad. Then, under the influence of Maya, you start considering Srimad to be Manmat. Therefore, you must constantly use the power of discrimination. Sometimes there is a difference in being able to discriminate, and so you bring a loss to yourself. Therefore, if you are not able to discriminate in any situation, take cooperation from the elevated souls who are the instruments. Verify with them whether something is Srimad or Manmat, then put it into a practical form. Acha, to those who make along whilst being both lawful and lawful, to such souls, Namaste. Om Shanti.